David Bryan. I'm a 75-year-old Vietnam vet. I served with 1-9 in the 2nd Marine Division, better known as the Walking Dead. I joined the United States Marine Corps when I was 17. A year later, I was deployed to Vietnam when I was 18. I went to boot camp at San Diego MCRD. After that, I went to Camp Pendleton, where I went to ITR and jungle training. That was in Las Plagas. When I look back at my experiences in Nam, I believe the training I had saved me on a number of occasions. I knew how to respond. As far as I was stationed in Vietnam, I was along the DMZ, places like Con Tien, Camp Carroll, Kabang, Little Alamo. I never understood why, well, I guess I could figure that one out. But I ultimately landed in Quezon, the longest, bloodiest battle of the war. Once I realized what battalion I was assigned to in Vietnam, I knew I was dead. When I got to Nam, the 3rd day, they decided to transport me and 2 other gentlemen Marines to our unit by helicopter. We got there, they were in the middle of a firefight, and we were about 15 feet off the ground. They told us to jump. And me, never being in combat, and the other 2 guys never being in combat, we hesitated, so we got a little nudge because they had to get the hell out of there. They were getting shot at. I learned that later. And by the time we hit the ground, the 2 Marines were dead. I saw movement to my left, and I looked, and there was this person waving me over, and I wasn't going to go. He started hollering at me, and because of his accent, I realized he was an NBA. So I ran over there, and it was a gentleman, a Marine by the name of Ramirez, and he took me under his wing about 4 or 5 days later. The conditions were surreal. You'd have bloody sandbags at your bunker. We slept in holes in the ground, and we were afraid to close our eyes. We had open air shitters, jam guns, bamboo vipers, always rats no matter where you went, and from time to time sleeping with severed bodies. I saw 450 WIAs and 230 KIAs. To be honest with you, I joined the United States Marine Corps because at the time, it was an honorable thing to do. It was, you're defending your country, you're being patriotic, you're fighting for your loved ones. During the time I was there early on, I was wounded, and towards the end of my tour, subsequently, I was wounded, medevaced, and awarded 2 Purple Hearts. Many people died across the fronts in Vietnam. A lot of them gave their all, and 50% of them won't get the recognition that they deserve by the VA or today's society. When I got back from Nam, I had no respect for command or myself, and I started self-medicating with marijuana and alcohol, which ultimately led to my discharge. When I got back from Nam, I was treated like an outcast. My peers were not with me. The government sure didn't want to deal with us. And it was an odd feeling. I had just served my country. I had just been awarded 2 Purple Hearts. I thought I did the right thing. Throughout the years, I would argue with people. I would argue with my friends. I would argue with my bosses. I would argue with anybody that I could argue with, apparently. And throughout the number of years I've been out. I have contemplated suicide at times. Throughout the years, I've had night terrors. I've woken up sweating, breathing heavy, thinking to myself I just escaped again. A lot of times I'm afraid to go to sleep. I don't know what the next day is going to bring. Some people have told me that I project the worst. And it's hard nowadays functioning with just memories from the battlefield. Even as a Marine, when I got back, it was just hard. It was just hard. My mind is still in the jungle. It's been surreal. My whole life has been surreal.